Hey, my trendies, trendsetters, and my trendy tribe. And this is our first review. So you can call me Trendaris.
I love that.
I should have changed it on the thing. I would change it. I am Trendaris. And we have the Red Keep Clapper Queen here.
Hooty hoo, hooty hoo.
I was also thinking of you as Fatera or Fateris as well, just so you know I was thinking of your House of the Dragon name.
I like Fateris. I'm loving it. Fateris. I'm gonna do that next week.
Trendaris and Fateris. Okay. Welcome in. Please make sure you're liking the video, especially on 41 Fit side. Please, please, please. So, Sweet Sis, take it away.
Well, good evening, everyone, and trending. Thank you so very much. I am so excited. And again, thank you for lending your platform. Thanks for everybody that is here tonight. We are going to have a ball. Listen, what is my other name again? I'm the Red
Keep Clapper Queen.
Clapper Queen tonight. But what is my other one? I gotta actually type that one up now.
Fateris.
We'll put AKA Fateris.
And then here we say Trenjaharius. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, real quick for context. So we are about to review episode 1 and 2. 41, Red Keep Clapper Queen is about to give us a scene synopsis so we can then give our thoughts for the scene. So that's how we're going to go through this. So I really hope y'all enjoy it. We are happy. We are so excited. This is a show we've been watching before we knew each other. So we're ready.
Well, again, welcome everybody. We're going to be covering down on episodes 1 and 2. So to start, I just wanted to recap a tiny bit, right? So season 2 seems to pick up and I just want to say, please chime in the chat. While we may not be able to highlight every message that comes across on the chat, feel free to chime in. We can discuss. There might be some stuff that I may miss, that trending may miss. So again, feel free to chime in. Forgive me, my dog is whining in the back. That's just my teddy boy. So, I guess he's there for added effect. But season 2 seems to pick up just a few days after the events of the season 1 finale, which set up the rest of the series. So the most important thing to remember is that King Viserys Targaryen is dead, right? So his council conspired to place his son Aegon II on the Iron Throne instead of the king's chosen heir, his daughter Rhaenyra, right? So just to bring that all back. Now, Alicent Hightower, Rhaenyra's former friend, and later on her stepmama, if you could believe that, believes that Viserys spoke Aegon's name right before he died. She interpreted his final breath to mean that he wished for Aegon II to ascend to the Iron Throne instead of Rhaenyra. Whether that was right or wrong, she would secure her family's legacy no matter what. So kind of put yourself in a mama's place, right? Escaping to Dragonstone, Rhaenyra assembles an army to fight back and retake her throne. So that's the recap, okay? So the first scene for episode 1, we start with Rhaenyra's son, Jacaerys. He flies north of Winterfell to make an ally out of Cregan Stark, all right, at the Wall. Yes, the Starks have returned. Yay! I don't know about y'all, but I'm a huge Starks fan. And Cregan warns Jacaerys about the whole winter is coming thing. But he agrees to support Rhaenyra's claim to the throne nonetheless. Now, the Northern fighters are a great addition to our army. Now, let's keep in mind that these are the folks, like they're for real guards. Like 10% of their family is, they have to literally dedicate a portion of their family to be a Northern fighter. And sadly, there's no time to celebrate, right? Because Aemon Targaryen murdered Jacaerys' brother, Lucerys, in the season 1 finale, and Jacaerys hears the news for the first time. What are your thoughts, Trending?
First of all, like, the Starks thing is they never forget an oath. So Kragen's father was the one that made the oath to Rhaenyra when she was still the young Rhaenyra that we saw in season 1. And then Kragen is now remaking that oath to Jacaerys. And right now, one thing that I saw was that because we reading up on this. Me and 41 Fit are reading up on this, right? We're looking at everything. So do you remember too in the Game of Thrones how they definitely, when you go to the wall, it was a dishonorable thing, but right now in this time it's very honorable to be selected to go to the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and I'm kind of happy to see Jacaerys growing up. Like, okay, yeah, let's get these kids growing up a little bit. So I'm actually happy about that. How far in do you want me to give my thoughts? Because you covered what's led up to this point, and then this first scene at the wall with the Raven coming and everything too.
I want you to flow how you flow.
Okay. Well, Jace, Jacaerys' nickname is Jace, I believe, and Jace did his job. He secured the oath again from the Starks, and just some Easter eggs. There was the direwolf. Is it the direwolf, right? Symbol on Kragen that was on there.
Yes.
They call the direwolves. Okay, yes. And then also he had the ice sword on his back because it hadn't been melted down yet, because that made it all the way to Ned Stark before the sword was melted down. So that was really cool to see those two things on Kragen. And then of course, the Ravens deliver the messages. So that was cool that a Raven, was coming to although it was bad news, you see the Ravens coming to deliver the message. Oh, and he was saying that the dragons were even too scared to go past the wall. That was like really crazy too. Like the dragons already knew. Like, that man is down there. That Night King is down there.
They wanted no parts. No parts. No parts. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah. So as far as that, I like that. And he also secured protection when I know we're gonna get to that scene later, but from another, it was a woman leader, I guess, but in the books apparently he had an affair with her, but it doesn't look like the show's gonna follow that with him having an affair with that woman. Okay, what are your thoughts on that first scene?
Yeah. Listen, 41 Fit is in heat, so I'm looking at everybody that's fine, okay? And I'm gonna keep it above. So it's so nice to see the Starks, because like the Starks remind me of like that manliness, right? Like a real guard, like a real man. And he reminds me so much of Robb Stark.
Ooh, I love some Robb Stark.
Again, listen, fair warning. Again, my husband is all the way in Korea right now. So 41 Fit is in heat. So like when I give some of my objectives and stuff like that, just pray for your girl. Pray for your girl. But it was nice to see the wall again. It was nice to see, for them to rewind time and see a time where, you know what I mean, being a guardsman at the wall was a honorable thing. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And I love the symbolism as well, as far as just all of the above. All from the dire wolves and above. Is it me? Now, Francois says, is it me, or the north seems more colder than before? Like the winter is harder now.
Well, I don't know if it seems colder yet, but I do know that Alicent said, I'm feeling the, what did she say? Summer's almost over. Instead of winter's coming, she says summer is ending, or summer's almost over. So I don't know if it's colder, because he's still building his army according to some theories. So he don't have the people he got yet like that. He's just taking his sacrifices, biding his time with all these dragons out here. So I don't know. I don't know if it's colder yet. I don't know if that's what it felt like to me yet.
But good point. And it is, and forgive me if I pronounce some of these names wrong. Yeah, listen, count it to my head.
Me too. When we get to the Whisperer, I'm like, I don't know how to say this woman's name yet. I'm trying to remember all these people, how to pronounce their names.
So please excuse the Clapper Queen today, because I'm just going to make it do what it do when I'm reading these scenarios and these scenes. But good take. And I also love the symbolism. One thing that I did know in the entering credits, I can't think what the proper term is that they didn't. It seems as if from episode 1, and I'm jumping ahead kind of sort of to episode 2, it didn't show any of the changes in the initial credits. And maybe some of us need to take a look back, but I loved how Game of Thrones and also even last season would, whenever there was changes or new dynamics, they would add that into the initial credits in the startups.
True. They're doing this tapestry thing right now this season. Oh, and just to make the connection of why the Raven came to Jaceres is because it was to let him know Luke, his little brother, had been killed because Luke was on his dragon. Damon, I know it's called One-Eyed something. It's like he has a sapphire eye now because when they were younger, he basically kind of stole a dragon, the oldest dragon out there, and they fought him about it, and he lost the eye. He said, "I lost the eye, but I gained a dragon." Well, Amon lost his eye, got the dragon, and then when Luke came to make peace and get like protection and all that stuff for the Team Black, that's when Amon chased him with his dragon, and Amon's dragon is way more huge. And basically, Amon actually did kind of try to control that dragon, but that dragon snapped the dragon and Luke up real fast. So that's why the Raven was saying that Luke was dead. Just give that background.
I love it. That was a big behind Dragon Terry T, baby. And I also love the tapestry opening as well. Right. Yeah. Girl, CC, you funny. He did not look at, would you be happy?
He did it. Oh, he pulled that black stone. He was like,
He said, take me to the king. Not really, real. So in the next scene, back at Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is in mourning, right? So Daemon seeks immediate revenge at King's Landing. But Rhaenys and her dragon hold him back. She says, in quote, a raven has told Rhaenyra that her son is unalived. She reminds him she needs to know it for certain. Rhaenyra later finds Lucerys, I think that's how you say, clothes and a torn off dragon wing down by the beach. If we recall that scene, it's unwise to attack with a vengeful impulse at a time of impending war, but Daemon is ready to take a son for a son. Meanwhile, Rhaenys and her husband Corlys hold a naval blockade to protect Dragonstone and Driftmark. Corlys is the commander, if y'all remember, of the royal fleet and the former master of ships, but he sided against the crown. Oh, and he's also recovering from a random battle with pirates in season 1 that occurred entirely off screen. What are your thoughts?
First of all, I do want to say I want to show Rhaenys' daughter because Daemon used to be married to Rhaenys' daughter, and she lost too much blood during childbirth, I believe, right? And then she kept trying to get her dragon she wanted to die by fire. She didn't want to die from still trying to give childbirth. And so this is Laena. This is Rhaenys' daughter that she said, a raven told me my daughter died, and this is the daughter. And I had to see for myself. Couldn't really grieve until I saw her for myself. And so and again, Daemon had checked out when Laena was going through the things. Just so y'all know, Daemon had checked out. He was not there to support Laena. Let me see what else. Sorry. And he blames Rhaenys for not burning up Alicent, the other Aemon, and not Aemon, Aegon, and everybody else, Otto Hightower, when she had the chance to burn them up with her dragon. And this is Rhaenys right here. That was the mom of Laena and wife of Corlys. So,
Laena was beautiful.
Laena was so gorgeous. That's why we got to see Laena because she was gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, she was she was because she passed, but just gorgeous. She reminds me of Sierra in the face. I don't know.
I do see it.
Yes. Yeah, she reminds me of Sierra. But that being said, I truly believe out of all the women, he loved her.
Yeah, I do. He probably couldn't deal with losing her because he actually did seem to be very affectionate with
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll say he's emotionally checked out after that. He was emotionally checked out before Lena. It seemed like he was there with Lena, then emotionally checked out again with her,
right.
or like at the end because he couldn't handle either. I guess that he knew she was dying.
Yeah,
Oh, and then the parallel of him having to choose between the child and her. He
yes,
didn't try to take her life like Rhaenyra's dad
yep.
definitely said, "Well, I need a son." C-section the mom.
Wasn't that crazy? And I was
Mm-hmm.
watching the first episode to kind of connect it to this first episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it was deep. I mean, even I know that I can't think of what, I don't know, they weren't called doctors then, but he was like, you got to make a hard choice, and he chose for his son. And now,
Mm-hmm. Either way, he lost because now he lost his wife, who he actually loved,
mhm,
but he wanted a son more, an heir more, and then the baby ended up not making it anyway. The son didn't. So
no,
yeah, that was wild.
it was. And I do agree, Terry T. And you know, Francois, you make a good point. I do believe that Rhaenyra would have made an excellent queen, an excellent ruler
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yes.
She was built for
She
that.
seemed
Like,
cool headed, smart.
and as a mom, I appreciated her waiting to hear from, you know, their queen, because she's been in that place where she's, didn't she lose it? Yeah, she lost her own daughter in childbirth. So that being said, she knows how it is to lose a
Mm-hmm.
child and all of the above. Now, it might not have been in the same circumstances, but
Mm-hmm.
I lost a child too. Stop being a hothead, relax.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's wait for a final decision here, whether or not we're just going to go ahead and start unaliving people.
Right.
So I
Right.
appreciate that.
Right.
Oh, and Bella. So you talked about Bella. Bella is brave like her mother.
This is
And later on in I think it's episode 2, you'll see her doing some archery stuff as well. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bayla. Gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. I love, and this is not a slight against anybody that is not African American or of African descent, but I love the fact that they took the time to see that we have textured hair, that
Mm-hmm.
we have wide noses, full lips, and things of that sort. They weren't using just people that were darker toned, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like they just really, really took the time to add that added effect.
Right.
Yes.
And you can tell they are still melanated.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. All
Mhm.
right. So,
Look, Dude's 281. Jace did get the Jon Snow glow up. Okay, thank you for saying that because
yes.
I didn't want to be the first one to say.
I agree. Oh, yeah. Jon Snow was fine too.
He was.
Oosh, yes.
I just needed him to make
Oosh.
a few more harder decisions on a couple things, but yeah, he.
Yeah. I got a question for y'all at the end of this with the second episode when it comes to people making bad decisions because people fine. But I tell you, if 41 Fit was not married and somebody listen, I'll be like Mel, this would be some international cooch. I'm trying to tell you.
You gonna have to enter. Is there such words like inter-century or inter fantasy?
Yeah, I'll be ready to risk it all because people be fond of all colors, shades, and nationalities. Okay. Anyway, back to the show. Back in King's Landing, on the other side, King Aegon II wants to bring his young son, Jaehaerys. Is it? It is Jaehaerys.
Yeah,
To a small council meeting. It's important that we remember and spend some time with little Jaehaerys this episode. All right. He said, and I quote, he'll be king one day. Aegon II reminds us, we ain't too sure about that because we know how this episode ends. But Aegon is impatient. So I'll come back. I'll stick a pin in that one. On her way back to her room, Alicent speaks with Larys Strong. He's a weasel of a man.
and has a foot fetish.
Yeah, girl, don't even bring up the pumping the people's feet. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, I'm scratching the air right now. Oh, he is such a nasty little weasel. He's a nasty little weasel man. No one should talk to him under any circumstances. but he tells Allison that that he unalived several members of their staff in whom he deemed untrustworthy.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Aegon II then sits on the throne to hear common folks' pleas in the next scene. He has a posse, I call them, of poopy-headed knights around him. For now, we'll just call them the lads.
Mm-hmm.
But this...
Before you continue, sweet sis, just to, because I don't, what is that guy's name? You just said his name. Let's
Laris.
Foot fetish dude.
Yeah.
Laris, because I'm not gonna see him too much. So I just want to say this thing about Laris. When you said like he told her he didn't think that they were good enough, he got rid of all the people, and now she doesn't trust her staff. Alicent does not trust her staff because he's replaced with who he felt was suitable for her to be around. And he's a master of whispers too, right? I believe.
Yes, he is, and he also noted that she was indisposed.
And she was indisposed. And he might be jealous.
She was getting that na-na, okay?
She was
supposed to be getting that na-na from, okay? But he
got the 90.
Yeah, she listen, get it how you live, I guess. But that being said, he made sure to drop all that, and I don't want to, I'll just bring a Bible verse into it. It says it's the small foxes that spoil the vine, and it be the little seeds of deceit that people can plant in certain places that will have your mind all types of jacked up. So it's very interesting because she's supposed to be a woman of faith, remember? And she's all about God and all this other stuff. But look at her. She laying low and spreading it wide and corny.
And they said the timeline of this is 10 days after season 1 ended. So it ain't like she's been mourning for a year or nothing. Like this is a week and a half.
Yeah. That body's still warm. It's crazy. The body is still warm. Yeah, we talking about her boo. We talking about
talking about Kristen Cole. Oh, punk. Oh, I do not like Kristen Cole. Okay, we're gonna get to him when we get to him. I don't like
get to him when we get to him. But thank you for stopping me there because he is a what's the bald-headed dude that was the keeper of secrets or whispered? What was his name? Somebody.
Oh, well, Littlefinger was the other one, and the other one was his like competition or like peer. Because Littlefinger was the one with the hair. But the bald one, I know who you're talking about because he was my favorite whisperer.
He was like a monk, right?
He had that monk look. Yeah, eunuch. He was a eunuch.
Yep, yeah. He was a eunuch. All right. So, Varys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Love Key. So Aegon sits on the throne to hear common folks' pleas. And he has a posse of all these weirdo knights around him, right? But this Joffrey-esque king isn't as he's not a tyrannical nutcase all of the time. So he does have some heart, right? Just most of the time, right? You have to remember he did
He's getting there.
He's getting there though. He AR'd people. He did all types of things in his time, right?
I forgot about that.
You forgot about that, right? He is bananas. Like he is a sick puppy. He actually wants to do some good for his people today, even as his grandfather curbs his actions at every step. What are your thoughts?
Otto Hightower is his grandfather, and Otto Hightower, I can't stand him, but he would have made better decisions than Aegon is making. You know what I mean? As far as like his strategy is better than Aegon II, basically.
Yes.
So, but I know we're gonna get there. I'm trying to wait as we get to the scenes. Yeah. But Otto is compartmentalizing. He will separate feelings from logic real fast and do whatever's best to keep his family on the throne. I'm sorry, that's his first motivation is to keep his own family on the throne. Yeah. Second is I don't think he actually does necessarily want a war. It seems like everybody's theory is he doesn't actually want a war, but he does want to always make sure it's him running everything.
I agree. So my thoughts are, is it me or do the Hightowers get a bad rep? And you alluded to that to a certain extent. I know they're known to be rigid and analytical, and that makes for a great hand. when you think about it.
It does make for a great hand. I would say if they weren't so good at making me love Team Black, that maybe Hightower gets a bad rep because he really did keep things running while Viserys was literally falling apart. His body literally falling apart.
Literally.
And also he was knocking Rhaenyra out of the line for air. So that's why I don't like him too. But as far as him and doing things for the kingdom and doing it like in a way that makes sense, I see that. But I'm not gonna say he was great, but I'm gonna say he's better than what's about to follow. Yeah. I must say that for sure.
I agree. And, think about it. The High Towers have been hands, from this time on up when you think about it. Even in the Game of Thrones time frames as well.
He's definitely given Lannister.
Yes. Definitely given Lannister. definitely. Ooh, I can't stand the Lannister. That's like a bad word in my mouth. Now, I want to ask the chat, how are y'all liking the pace of this new season? I love it because it seemed like, and I guess maybe it's just a season 1 thing, but the pace seems to be, it's like a great pace. It's not like a slow rollout. I love the writing in this season so far. And we're only on episode 3?
The fact that what happened at the end of episode 1 happened, and then what happened in episode 2, yes. If you're gonna give me only 8 episodes, make it happen. Get things going since you're only giving us 8 episodes.
Yes. And good point, Francois. He said Otto got fired twice, child. Yeah. He is very, very cunning. He's very, very cunning, but he's keeping Aegon II's head on a swivel. Now, whether or not he's 14 or 16, I thought he was 20, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know exactly how old he is.
I have to look it up. I was not looking for his age.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Blood and Cheese. So Daemon asks Massaria, I called his former whore, his motel Holiday Inn friend, to use her criminal spy network to find him 2 important idiots. Okay. She gets him a turncoat member of the King's Guard and the Red Keep's rat catcher, whom Daemon hires to surprise and unalive Aemon Targaryen. He says a son for a son, he declares, just as before. The 2 assassins named Blood and Cheese, this is a reference to the book, find Queen Helena unguarded along with her sleeping children. And they unalived by, I think, chop of his head, young Jaehaerys while he slept. Horrified. Queen Helena runs away and finds her mama punching Sir Criston Cole, who made a vow of celibacy. Holy smokes. Alicent and Sir Criston are hooking up. Ciao. My question to you, Trendon, and we'll talk about the rest of it. Do you blame Alicent for getting some yum and some hunching from Criston Cole? Because he is fine.
Well, see, Criston was so fine season 1 before but no, I don't blame her for getting it. I blame him because he doing it on his shift and didn't put another guard in place. Yeah. That's what I blame. Where is the extra guard? So I blame him. It's his fault.
Francois made a good point. Is it me or can anybody just walk up at this castle?
So can we? Okay, hold on. I will wait.
No, go ahead, sis.
Okay, I was gonna say because now we gotta go over some of the things that 41 Fit just laid out. So first, I think this might not come back up. So there was when Rhaenyra was having her funeral for her son Luke, she was burning. They burn. That's part of their thing. They burn. She could only burn this cloak because she couldn't find his body. But also they would then skip back to the scene with Alicent burning in memory of the dead. So I thought that was interesting, and they meant that for a reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, so I just want to point that out because the fire was there for a reason in my mind. And then, hold on, I have my notes. Hey, Uppity. Let me see here. Oh, Rhaenyra although she doesn't know what Daemon's going to do, and I almost feel like Daemon was going to do this, had she said this or not, but she did say, I want Aemon Targaryen when she got through her grieving with Jace, And Massaria, just as a callback, she's a mistress of whispers. I think she's going to be called the White Worm later, I think. But
Ooh.
so like 41 Fit said, she was the one that kind of tipped him off of who would know the tunnels and who could get to Amond, which is the sapphire, one-eyed sapphire. Let me show Amond. I don't know if we showed him yet. Where is he at? Here we go. Amen. So that's who they really, really wanted. A son for a son. This is the son for the son. For Luke dying on his dragon, and it was Amon's dragon that got him. This was the one. But when the rat catcher known as Cheese, that's why it's called Blood and Cheese, because that the big dude's name was Blood because he was brutal, and then Cheese was the rat catcher, so it's called Blood and Cheese. Cheese was like, what if we can't find Amon? And everybody's theory is that they specifically cut and didn't let us hear Damon's response. But it's assumed he said just a son for a son, period. So Blood and Cheese, and since Blood and Cheese are rat catchers, or Cheese is a rat catcher, Blood is posing as one, they're able to move about because no one pays attention to the small folk, is how they call them. Mm-hmm. So they're moving about the castle, just whatever, you know. So that's how they come upon. They made it to Amon's room, but Amon was out, which we're gonna find out later where he was in episode 2. Amon was out of there by then, and so they went looking, and that's when they found Helena, who foreshadowed when she was like, "I'm not scared of the dragons, I'm scared of the rats." In episode 1, it was earlier episode 1. She said that. And then, you got the rat catcher literally making her choose which child, or tell them which child is the son, because they couldn't tell because they had twins. Yes. And 41 Fit, my question to you, why do you think she told them the truth about who was the son and not saving the heir?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think because she's the one that has the visions, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think she might have saw this coming.
I do too.
I think she might have saw this coming. And I think that whatever visions and dreams that she has, that, and please correct me in the chat. Again, I just think she saw this coming. And I think that's why, and later on in episode 2, you see her look like she's almost having a panic attack. Mm-hmm. Because it's like one thing to actually have a dream about a thing, but for it to actually come into fruition, these are my opinions, my thoughts. Right. I believe that she saw this coming, and she knows, because all these Targaryens, they all look alike, right?
Yeah.
Just especially as babies, they all look alike. So she just, hey, I saw this coming. Let me just go ahead and fess up.
Yeah.
And go from there.
And I will say she also, 2 things. One, she has said, what if he doesn't want to be king, in a reply to, I don't know if it was her mom, Allison, she was replying to at the time. Mm-hmm. And also she maybe just was like, I'm letting my little girl make it on this one. Like the men always get to make it. I'm letting the little girl make it. Although it still hurt her. I think she might have chosen her daughter for that reason. Right. 41 Fit, this is Cece's interesting question. It's because I've been trying to catch up that I know this, not because I've actually read the books myself. Mm-hmm. But do you know what happens to the children in the book? Did you see that by any chance?
I have not. Not read this part of the book.
Let me just tell you real fast. Blood and Cheese, they actually walk in, and it's Helena, her mama, and some other family members, and then it's 2 boys that are there. Mm-hmm. And Blood and Cheese are holding like each one of the boys, and they ask Helena, well, you better choose somebody. Who are you going to choose? She chose the younger boy, and then Blood ends up still unaliving the older boy, and she said, how does it feel to know your mom wanted you dead, to the younger boy that they didn't kill, although she pointed to him.
Lord have mercy. That's crazy. Alpha MC, she said, to answer that question, I believe Helena saw in her dreams Blood and Cheese were going to unalive the male heir regardless, so there was no need to lie. To that point, I would say if she didn't speak up, they would have swiped them all.
They probably would have swiped both. They probably would have.
And her.
Probably, yeah.
Because he was moving weird anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy, which one was it? Which one was like in I forgot, in the scene he was trying to come, like, what are you doing? Like he was, I don't know if it was Blood or if it was Cheese that was moving really, really weird.
Mm.
Yeah, well,
Jesus,
the
well,
swipe or no
Jesus,
swiping.
well, blood is super weird too, though. Blood, I mean, both of them are. Cheese is the squirmy one, but they're both weird. They were both real. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hopefully, you all are liking the commentary so far. If you do, please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and we would greatly appreciate it. Also, just as a small sidebar, our dear Trending is still taking cash apps and whatever it is. Okay, if you want to send it a carrier pigeon, documents, please feel free to send your cash apps and we'll go ahead and throw it into the chat, or maybe Nightbot is already sending it out. But make sure to give, because these documents cost a lot of money. So make
Thank
sure
you,
that you give.
Red. Keep clap a queen.
Clap, 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 clap. You should see me. I wish y'all could see me twerking in my chair.
Oh.
You might got twerk for the red keep. But oh, and for all the folks that said that they haven't watched this show, it's so good. Even if you go into the second season, you can always, it's so easy to catch up. It's so easy to catch up. There's so many resources. So for the uppities of the world, please, please, please watch the show. It's so good. It's so good. All right.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to episode 2, because Trendon has a bedtime. Her inner old seasoned lady, as she says, got to be in the bed real soon. And I ain't trying to get in trouble with Mr. Trendon, because me and him, we cool right now, okay? So moving along to episode 2. But before we do so, do you have any final comments?
I'm looking just to make sure. Oh no, I think what I'm gonna say, it is in episode 2, because I see the chat, but I think it's episode 2, so we're gonna get there anyway. So I don't want to say anything yet.
Oh, and this is for Shan too. Stop being corny, Shan. Just watch the show.
Hey, Shan.
Hey, DG. Hello, dudes. American born, Francois, CC, everybody that we haven't said hi to in the chat. Again, show Trending some love. Again, Cash App and Venmo is trending at some point. $sign in front of it. Venmo, I'm not sure. I think you might need an email address. Venmo is trending at some point.
And let me pass some love too. If you are over here on this side of the live with me, please, when you do the replay, go ahead and just let it play in the background, or another tab. Run 41 Fifths watch hours up, so we can, she is a content creator. She is taking courses. She is not playing around. So please support her.
I'm trying. More things to come. And then shout out to Chef. Was it TCDD Productions? We'll go ahead and put his link in the chat. He has another kitchen table talk coming up on August 11th. August 11th. I was about to say July. Lord. About to make that man busy. Please scratch that. August 11th. Make sure that you support the chef as well. Just a small commercial break. Make sure that you support the content creators that you love. Make sure that you hit up Uppity. Make sure you subscribe. Here for Hot Tea. Buy up all of her stuff. All of the above. Support the people you love. A like is free. Yeah. Now, when you give a little bit more, that's beautiful and all, but just show your love. All right. So, episode number 2. Hooty-hoo. All right. So, Rhaenyra, and again, if I skip around, y'all remind me in Trending, okay? Rhaenyra finally understands that marrying her uncle was a bad idea. All right.
Uncle husband.
So, as a reminder, he sent out a bang bang on Aemon Targaryen. Right. So obviously Rhaenyra feels awful, or swipe, because it wasn't a bang bang, because bang bang is a certain thing, right? But obviously Rhaenyra feels awful. She's a mama, right? And this is her former best friend. The entirety of Westeros thinks she is a slayer of infants. Now, she said, in quote, "They're accusing me?" She asked the messenger. She said, "But it's a lie. Sorry, queen. Sorry, homegirl. You need to talk to your uncle daddy husband." All right. So my question to you, Trendon, is, do you believe Daemon has ever loved Rhaenyra?
As much as he was capable, I do, but I also think it's too mixed in with his ambition to know where does the love begin and the ambition. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I do think he has a certain affection for her. Although he keep grabbing her by her neck a lot, though. But I do think he like loves her in his own weird way. But I think his most soft, affectionate time was for was it Lena? Lena?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was his most soft time.
Yeah. And this is not even in my question. Do you think he groomed her?
Yes. Now that yes.
He is her
affections were turned on him a lot, even before that scene. That one scene, because remember he would bring her stuff back, stories. They would be the only ones that really spoke the language, the Targaryen language. Like, yes, I feel like he definitely groomed her. I do.
Yeah. My next question is, yeah, he only loves himself, Francois. You're absolutely, yeah. So American Born, no. I think, yeah, too. I think in a weird way, yeah. I think he's out for self. So my question to you in the chat is, how many relationships suffer because of emotional insecurities?
Oh my God, probably the worst. One of the worst things because of that, honestly.
Yeah. Because think about it. Damon, he was not even selected to be heir, right?
Right. Well, he almost made it. He did. There was a time he almost made it, but he couldn't get out of his own way.
Right.
And then, his niece was chosen instead.
And think about Aegon II. Those insecurities that's deep down on the inside of him, like the
Aegon was hiding.
Right. Well, his dad treated Aegon II's sister better. Those kids better than he did them, because he was older, he was sick. So that same love he's always been hungering for, he didn't get it from his father because he was a part of the Green Kids.
Right?
So
right. True.
Because think about how Aegon II treats his own wife.
Yeah, his sister wife. Literally.
Right, like literally. Yeah. So my take is, it's hard being married, especially when you aren't on the same sheet of music. Right?
I agree.
Rhaenyra and Daemon, they ain't on the same sheet of music, right?
Right.
So Daemon has a huge bone to pick with anyone that denied him the throne, to include his niece wife.
His niece wife.
His niece wife, right? I mean, it just is what it is. And he hated his brother for not selecting him as an heir, because he felt like he had a rightful claim to the throne.
Yeah.
But he's such a hothead that he see through his lens of hate, if that makes sense.
He tried to rush it with the whisper, I know you say huh. He tried to rush it with her and pretend like she was pregnant in season 1, and he stole a baby dragon egg and everything, to hurry up and try to be, the heir, be the next one. And yeah, Damon's always been just a hothead and just making rash decisions.
Indeed. So in the next scene, Jaehaerys unaliving is good, actually. And here's my take on it. Back in King's Landing, now, of course, we don't want any babies to be unalived, okay? We don't want 41 Fit to be thinking I'm, crack.
No, this is strictly for the storyline of House of the Dragon.
Back in King's Landing, Otto Hightower seeks to turn the king's heirs unaliving into clout.
Yes.
He says, let them see the child. With a funeral procession, he suggests. What are your initial thoughts, chat and trending, after watching that scene?
First, okay, so another Easter egg, or maybe not an Easter egg, but when they showed Aemon II being angry and smashing Viserys's model of the kingdom, they said, of course, like that was also like could be a callback of how the kingdom was going to be destroyed, and just how he was hot-tempered versus Viserys being more of a cool-headed person. Right. But how can I put it? Did they already catch blood at that point when he was talking about the funeral procession, or they were still hunting for him at that point?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was
It might not have came up
I
just
think
yet.
it was happening at the same time.
Okay.
I think.
Because they had a dog sniff the blanket of the child to find the other part of the child.
Right.
And Eamon also realized he was the initial target because I didn't know that was a black coin he was holding up, but that's how he realized he was the initial target because he picked up a coin and held it to his eye. And so he realized he was actually the intended target at that point. Um, and Otto Hightower, being the logical person he is, was like, I'm grieving, but we can use this because now there will be way fewer people that'll be on Team Black side, on Rhaenyra's side. So he was practical and right. But as we're gonna get to later, Aegon II had to go do something different and mess it up.
Yeah.
And I thought when they were going through that funeral, that procession, I swear I thought that cart was gonna tip over when it got stuck. I was so like, please do not do this. Do not do this.
Because, well, first of all, I would have laughed because I got a weird sense of humor. They would have flipped that baby like what Duke said with the Frankenstein stitch neck. That would have took me to the king. I said, no, I know they didn't.
Right. That's why I was like, please, no, everything is barely hanging on. Helena's sanity is barely hanging on. And the way they describe Helena's is that it seems like she doesn't know when she's in reality versus seeing her dragon dreams. So she was going through it and her panic attack and everything. It was a lot.
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot. See, you with me, because if that head would have rolled, I would have laughed and then repented later on because I would have got a good kiki off of that and not off of a baby. But you understand what I mean? Like, it's always the weird stuff that happens during these times.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it, I felt my heart broke as a mom. Again, we go back to she might even have had visions of her own child being unalived. I can't even imagine ever having a dream of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then to possibly, again, these are our thoughts, right? Our opinions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that come to fruition, my Lord, I couldn't even imagine. I really, really couldn't.
Yeah.
My other thoughts is I have to hand it to Otto.
Mm-hmm.
He's a manipulator, and this is a spectacle, right? And to be honest with you, he took lemons and he made lemonades.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone involved may have hated it, especially Helena, but he's the hand for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Before you go to your next scene, just want to also say Hugh, that was in episode 1, that asked, he was a blacksmith and he was asking for an advance.
Yes.
Y'all gonna see, obviously he becomes more significant, so that'll be a thing. And they said this might be the reason why he eventually turns, because you see his sick child, you see a lot of things. It's like, oh, Hugh just asked y'all for an advance. He ain't asked for much. So, okay.
Thank you for bringing that up. Because for him to have such a long scene, it must be a reason for it. You know how anything associated with Game of Thrones, there's always a meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked in that scene when, they brought it back to the daughter being sick. And the fact that the wife had to, she had to travel 2 hours or wait 2 hours just for
to get meat, and they charge 3 times more. I was like, girl, you in 2024 or 120 AC or whatever year it was, because they charge it 3 times now.
Right. And and I'll be honest, I'm the same way, Brittany. I'm Team Black, but I do feel for the moms. I don't like Alicent, but I feel for her as a mom. So it's just and again, these folks used to be best friends. And remember, Kristen kissed Rhaenyra back in the day. So like it's a lot of different weird stuff that has gone on between these young ladies and these families. It's just
we're gonna get there, Cece, about how he failed up.
We're gonna get there.
I'm gonna go ahead because this is the only place I'm gonna be able to say it, even if it's not a safe place.
Yeah.
I'm Team Black as well, but sometimes Aemon, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know what it is, but Aemon kind of be having my eyes like, okay, Aemon, not when he was in that brothel, but the other times.
Right.
But okay, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
That was a weird scene, wasn't it? I thought he was about the boob feed. Like he got a weird thing going on.
He got a mommy issues.
He got a kink. He definitely got a king. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And I agree with you. It's that machismo. That's what I think it is. It's almost like, it's almost like he knew he was gonna be king.
Yeah.
It's almost like he knew he was gonna be king. It's very odd to me. The meat. Yeah, the meat do be expensive. I mean, you know what I mean? They didn't have canned chicken back in the day, Francois. At least not yet. At least not yet. All right. So, and I'm going to kind of skip ahead, but feel free to fill in here for the sake of time. So in the next scene that I want to mention is Damon's hunch buddy and his wife Bond. And I said, sister wife hot D edition.
Right. Sister wife hot D edition, yes.
In this scene, Masseria bonds with Rhaenyra over their shared hatred of Damon, right? And she said he's gone for a week or forever. I don't know, Rhaenyra tells Masseria. So Rhaenyra also grants her freedom and honors what was promised to her by her husband. What are your, and again, I'm skipping over for the sake of time, but what are your thoughts about this specific scene?
They definitely compared notes, which is how I feel like that's how she's going to, and then, well, I'm about to skip for you too a little bit because, you know, she sets her free to go on that ship. And that's how I think they were kind of warned, but not in enough time that Auric was there posing as Eric. So I think they're going to have this trust in between them. And then also they don't like to be pawns anymore and stuff like that. I think it's a match made in heaven for these two smart women to like work together. So I loved it that they compared notes and everything.
I agree with you, Terry T. It's something about that sit in the chair, but with the leg up on one side.
I'm telling
you, girl.
Thank you, Terry, for seeing what I ain't saying all of it all the time, but I'm saying, Terry, there's something there. There's something there.
They are very much alike, Francois. They're alike in a way of, but you know, of course, one is privileged, the other one was a former slave, from what I understand. Actually, something about she's of a darker descent, and they're trying to. What was the name of the Red Witch?
Oh, just call her Red Witch. I cannot remember that woman's name. I'm barely remember the names on the season we on.
We literally have to have a chart up here just to remember all of the different names. But there's a theory out there that Masseria she can shift the way she looks.
Dukes, are you sure? Are you coming from the books that Damon did that to her? Because all the theories are that it's possibly just from her time as a slave. I don't know if they said definitively. So let me know where your source is on Damon did that to her neck.
And I would love to read that too. And I don't know about y'all or anyone in this chat. I really want to I want to read all the books now. I want to read all the books. At least do that or do the audio books. All right. Do you believe, and I'll move on to the next one because it's not really much after this, to be honest. I mean, there's big scenes, but it's not a whole lot. Let's see here. Do you believe that Rhaenyra sent her to her unaliving?
Sent who? The Masseria?
Yeah.
Almost. Oh no. I knew that if anything, Rhaenyra posed as setting her free, but really already sent her to go spy. That's my theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. So the next section, Missandra, yes. Sir Kristen, step on down.
Oh, Kristen. Let me have a picture of Kristen. Where is he? Here you go. This sorry ninja. I'm so sorry here with his butt herself. He is like, okay, look, first of all, didn't nobody force you to break your vow, but okay, maybe you didn't want to like deny the soon-to-be queen, current princess. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, you're gonna need to man up and stop it right now. You cannot hold this grudge for this many years, and you're breaking your vows left and right at this point. Calm it down.
Yeah.
And then how do you think she was gonna give up her throne to go run off with you when this girl has always grown up as a tomboy to try to prove to her dad she can do it as a girl?
Ooh, listen, look, don't highlight Francois, but read his.
Okay. Francois,
Look at Alpha MCs too. He is lit. Okay, I won't say
He
the
is
sleep, but
a
I'll say
POS
Jace.
Alpha MC.
He renamed
I
MC
did
Jace.
start liking him too, but he know.
Well, I liked him when she was selecting a guard in the first
Yeah,
season, and I was like, okay, she like what she
right.
see. So, all right. So when
Yep.
Otto Hightower finds out that Aegon put him up on a string, all the rat catchers for the public to see, he's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all the sympathy they won with their funeral spectacle is all gone now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls young Aegon feckless and selfish,
Mm-hmm.
claiming that it was his conspiracy that put his grandson on the throne in the first place. Right. Hearing enough, Aegon II calls for his grandfather to remove his badge as Hand of the King and give it to Sir Criston Cole. He says, "You were my father's hand." Were, he tells Otto. "My new hand will be a steel fist." Let's remind everybody that Otto worked for 20 years to get this dumb, hot-headed person on the throne, gave his daughter's hand to marry Viserys, and knowingly went against his king's wishes, the one he loved, because he later on said that he missed him, right? And crowned Aegon II as king and worked hard to make him look good, even though he's a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe Criston will be a good hand?
No, Criston is going to. First of all, it does seem like he didn't even expect to be named Hand. I'll give him that. He wasn't trying to do that. He was just trying to stay in Alicent's good graces. I think he just loves some Alicent, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he hates some Rhaenyra. So that's all he was motivated by. The Hand thing, I think because that's not Criston's brain. He's not a hand type of brain. And then a hand does not rule with steel. That's why you have Criston with his sword. That's what they're for. So no, I don't think he will be. Also, just because you already said about the rat catchers being hung, Blood, like Francois was saying earlier, sang like a canary. They didn't even touch him. He was like, it was Damon.
Yep.
And I was with a rat catcher. If I don't know his name, but I was with a rat catcher. And Larys, because Larys came in with his tools and he was like, "Are you gonna hurt me?" And Larys was like, "I'm not, but I can't promise he won't." And then Aegon II, Lil A, like I like how I think somebody said Lil A in here. Alpha MC? Yeah. Lil A, yes. Lil A walked in, got that mace, the thing, the spiked bat looking thing, and booped him up. And in the book, I heard that they actually kept him alive for like 13 days before they finally let him die. But yeah. So I just want to bring that out. So then there were 10 total rat catchers. Cheese did get caught up in the 10 because they just did all of them. They replaced the rat catchers with cats, just so y'all know. So there will be no more rat catchers, people wise. And the little dog was looking up at Cheese like, oh, but I'm sorry. Cheese was crazy, little dog. I'm so sorry, but I know that was your guy.
That was his homeboy, but you know, they man's best friend for a reason. They don't care how reckless and trifling you are. They gonna love you. Yeah. That's why I love me some dogs. Love me some dogs.
And Larys foot fetish guy is the reason I think Aegon II even thought about replacing his granddad as the hand, because Larys started whispering in Aegon II's ear.
In Aegon's ear as well.
Do we have a thing of Larys? I don't know. Larys, he should be. He's his old weirdo self. He is a power player though. I don't see him though. But yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm ready for this.
No.
Oh, there you go. Foot fetish.
They showed it. Oh, the club foot. That is too funny. Funny. Oh my goodness. But yes, he's good at his job. And that whole lowly thing that he does is he's creeping around oh God, he's a very, very good, very, very good actor. He does a great job. My take is a great advisor is willing to have a no in their spirit, right? You can always be a yes man. You have to be willing to tell them no. And that's what, and I'm trying to see who did Blood kick the poor dog. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Blood kicked the dog because Cheese was like, "I'm out of here. I got you. I can't go higher than this. We're supposed to stay down here." And he kicked the dog and fussed at Cheese and threatened him and made him keep going up to the quarters.
And he did son him. I do wonder, to Alf MC's point, and I'll go ahead and finish up. To Alf MC's point, he did son little A, right? And I don't think he thought. I don't think that Otto thought that he was going to be fired.
He probably been sunning him forever, but Laris then came in now, been whispering.
Yes, and said pretty much, "I'll make a better hand."
Well, do you think he was trying to be the hand, or he was trying to just make sure Otto was out?
I do believe he wanted to be the hand.
Okay.
Gotcha. We said, "Oh, Laris offered his own brother and father." That's right, dudes. That is right. And you got me wanting to read the book, dudes, talking about when Kristen is going to be, unalived, because his time is coming. So to my point, I believe he's whipped. Kristen is whipped, and he's blinded by his hunchtivities and his relationship with Alicent, right? So he's so blinded by the Uchiwali that he can't see past. And then he's also, as someone also said, he's war hungry. He's very war hungry.
That he is. Yeah.
And that's a bad combo. So again, for the sake of time, I'm going to move to the brother versus brother scene, which is the close out.
Brother.
This is so bad. So as Trendon mentioned,
make sure you put Kristen Cole part in this thing.
I know. So okay. When it comes to Kristen Cole, for the most part, is conflicted, right? And this is just off the top of my head. Kristen Cole is conflicted. He's blindsided about everything that has happened, and he was called out because he was supposed to be guarding his, Uchiwali homegirl Alicent, right? And because he wasn't on his post, he was upset about that. But he got upset with Eric or Arik because this is a stand-up guy, right? He was actually doing his job. He was doing his job, but because of his white cape was dirty, he decided to use Arik Cargill to do the dirty deeds and to get back at killing Rhaenyra for the most part. Now, I didn't mean to say the K word, but unaliving Rhaenyra. Please forgive me, YouTube.
We've been this is how you up here. It's hot as a dragon. We done said the words, typed the words.
Oh my goodness, we done said. Oh my Lord! Listen, make sure you hit up Trendon's Cash App, please, just in case the YouTube gods come in and do something stupid. Please, because we want people to get their coins. But yes, he did send Eric to his unaliving, Francois. He did. He sent him to his unaliving. But that being said, all right. Arik quickly marches off the Dragonstone and strolls right in without a single problem. Like, how are they able to, and I get it that he's a twin, but he just marched right in, like no questions asked. But Lord, Massaria, she saw him on her way to the boat. She saw him, right?
Because she had just seen him in her cell. So she was like, there's no way this is the same person I just saw, because he was in the cell with me.
Yeah, I agree. Sweet Jane, to your point, and I want to say, I'm surprised he let Otto live as well. But we'll get to that part on the end, because at the very end he announces, "Well, I'll go. We can go to that point, but no. We'll go back to that." But I am very surprised as well. I'm surprised he didn't send him to his unaliving. So for the most part, he makes it all the way to Rhaenyra's room before a tip from Massaria alerts his twin brother of his presence, and then Sir Eric runs in to protect his queen. So Sir Eric wins, we believe. Again, this is
right. The theory is that was Eric, right?
We believe. Yeah. And then he falls on his own sword because he can't bear to live knowing that he unalived his twin brother. Right? Your thoughts, Trending?
I The symbolism, first of all, the author George R.R. Martin, the show runners, the producers, like if you watched at the end of the episode and you hear them talk, I love it. They said they spent like 30 hours on that fight scene to make sure it came out where we were supposed to be confused about who was winning, who was losing, who was that was right there. When the guard came in and said, which one's Arik? And then they even said that because technically their names are pronounced the same,
right.
Eric and Eric, but it's spelled differently, but apparently they're pronounced the same. So even the question itself is confusing to identify, like, are you asking about the offender or my protector? All of it was great. And then they just didn't even want to fight each other. They didn't even want to fight each other, the twin souls. And so they said, like, back in that time, it was, it's still bad now, but I'm sure it was even worse then to be a kin slayer. And so even though I think it was Eric that won, he was like, I can't be here. I'm so sorry, Queen, and took himself out too after he protected her. And it was so sad. Only reason I was good because I knew it was coming. If I had no context and I sat there and saw that, I think that'd be one of my bawling my eyes out moments.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And I love the symbolism. And the only reason why I say Arik is because, man, I mean, saying Eric and Eric, it's a lot of confusion.
Oh, no, I'm saying Arik too. I just wanted to give that little nugget, but I'm going to say Arik and Eric too. I can't say Eric and Eric.
Oh, goodness, like Eric, it gets confusing. And I appreciate you bringing out that nugget as well. This is so well written, almost like, and I don't know if there's any Stephen King fans, but like, I love a great writer, right? I love a not so lazy writer and just putting insight. And again, these are big books. These are huge books. These are dictionary sized books. So the fact that they're able to pull whatever they can. Now, yes, there is some frustration because they have kind of twisted a couple of storylines because, for instance, Kristen had a love for Alicent in the book. He had a love for Alicent, but it wasn't like
it didn't go like it's going in the show.
In the show, right? So they, you know, they're putting their own little, as shout out to Wendy Williams, their own little zhuzh on it. But this is this was a sad scene to see. We all, you know, a lot of us have siblings, unless you're an only child, of course. And to see, you know, even they're twins. Like, can you imagine looking at yourself, knowing that you are still alive and your actual reflection is no longer here, due to circumstances that's beyond your control.
Right.
On top of the fact that Arik was a great soldier.
Yeah.
But he
was doing his duty. He was where he was supposed to be.
Yep.
Kristen was not where he was supposed to be.
Exactly. So my thoughts are, Eric is a great example that good people are forced to do things for bad people. Only his white robe was dirty, but his soul was clean.
He
was a true guardsman, right?
Yeah.
So much that he unalived himself because he couldn't stand to look at himself.
Yeah.
Well,
wait. No, Arik was the one for me. He was the one that already died, and then Eric was the one that was the Queen's protector that took his own life.
Sir Eric runs in to protect his queen. See, and that's the thing, because it's like either way, which one did he send? I thought Arik was the one.
Arik was the one that was sent,
right?
And he was most likely killed by Eric, and Eric then took his own life after he had to kill his twin Arik that was sent there.
Right, and I guess for me is that his soul. For me is like he was the epitome of a great soldier and guardsman, like took his vows seriously. And then you have Kristen, who's higher, who's like over all of these jokers, and he laying low, spreading it wide, doing all
spreading it wide. And then where was he at the end? Waiting to lay it low and spread it wide again.
Yet again. So that is of my notes. That is all that I have trending. Do you have any final thoughts regarding both of these episodes? Some things that I might have missed.
I'm reading my notes. You already know I'm looking at my notes. Let me see. One of the producers, or not, I don't even know if it was the producers, but someone said that just to make sure we couldn't keep up too much about which one Arik and Eric were, when when we saw one of the twins going through that hall, kind of like the rat catcher did in the other hall, that was actually Eric. That was not Ark sneaking at that time. And so like they were just trying to make sure we stayed guessing, because that was the whole point, to make it even better of what the heck is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. I love the Easter eggs, the symbolism, all of it.
Yes. Awesome. Listen, the whole point is we all going to have our own little takes. Always add it to the chat, y'all, because there's pieces. There's folks that read the books. There's folks that have,
shout out to the book readers, because I did get the first book and I was like, my life does not constitute me being able to finish this book, and I hate it because I'm in love with this. I started with the Game of Thrones books,
right?
And it's just so much going on in life. But yeah, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. Again, make sure that y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel, please. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers. Please. I'm a beg. Baby, I'm begging, baby. I'm begging. Listen, I don't mind begging for likes and subscribe, but more to come on my channel. I got a lot of great things coming up, a lot of reviews. I kind of want to look at some other shows, some different shows outside of our LAMH bubble, I should say, to include what I'm doing here with Trending. And again, shout out to Trending. Make sure that y'all go ahead and show her some love in her Cash App and her Venmo, so we can get these documents. Amen.
Oh, and we have a treat for y'all next week. Since it's coming through Amazon, we should have it ready for next week. We have a visual treat for you next week. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Okay, y'all come back Sunday. Come back next Sunday, because that will be episode 3 review. And obviously episode 3 airs tonight. But yeah, come back, please.
All right. Have a wonderful evening. And again, thanks, Trending, for sharing your platform with me.
Thank you, sweet sis. I'm enjoying myself. I got my hot D nerd. Yes.
Let's get it.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.